ABC 10 News at 7 starts now.
Despite just missing the cutoff in order to move into the red reopening tier this week, San Diego County may finally reach it next week. Good evening. I'm Kimberly Hunt.
And I'm Steve Atkinson. That is the expectation from county leaders today. As our ABC 10 News reporter Mimi Alcala explains, there are two paths to get there.
Next week, San Diego County could qualify to drop down into the red tier, allowing more businesses like restaurants, gyms, museums, and movie theaters to reopen indoors with modifications and limited capacities.
This has been a lot of hard work of San Diegans in lowering the case count, a lot of hard work in getting vaccines into arms.
While our case rate this week was 8.8 per 100,000 people, barely above the 7 needed to reopen now, Supervisor Nathan Fletcher says there are two paths to the red tier next week. One, if the state reaches 2 million vaccine doses given in the hardest hit areas, then the case rate needed would change to 10, making San Diego eligible.
The second one, even if the state doesn't hit that, we have another path to get there with the percentage of positive and health equity indexes, but we feel confident the state will get to that 2 million vaccines.
In addition to that change, on Monday, the county will also begin offering COVID-19 vaccines to people between the ages of 16 and 64 with specific underlying health conditions outlined by the state.
Includes cancer, chronic kidney disease, chronic pulmonary disease, sickle cell, obesity, Down syndrome.
But Fletcher says appointments could be very limited until our vaccine supply increases. He says guidance for those who qualify will be posted to the county's website in the next day or two. So far, the county says 25% of San Diegans have received at least one dose of a COVID-19 vaccine. Mimi Alcala, ABC 10 News.
And here are the latest numbers on the coronavirus in San Diego County. 349 new cases were reported today. That brings our total to more than 264,000. But there were also 8 new deaths, bringing that total to 3,413.
San Diego Unified is rolling out a summer school plan to help students catch up from distance learning. Summer school will be open to all ages. Normally, it's reserved for seniors who need the credits to graduate. The district tells us they plan to spend $25 million hiring extra staff to teach over the summer. Elementary and middle school students would do 4-week modules. High school students would have 2 3-week modules. Mornings would be on campus to work on academics. Afternoons would be geared towards social and emotional enrichment.
We look forward to working together to ensure an incredible and enriching summer for students, because you know what? They deserve it.
San Diego Unified is planning on bringing students back to campus in April. From rain and hail at the coast to snow in the mountains, a winter storm swiping the county, and it will stick around for a while. Meteorologist Angelica Campos is joining us now, tracking the next round. Hi, Angelica.
Hi, Cameron. That's a great way to put it. When is the next round going to be? As you kind of think of a storm, there are different waves around it, and we're going to be tapping into one of those later tonight. We already had to deal with the cold front this morning, which allowed temperatures to drop into the low 60s today. We picked up about a half an inch of rain in Vista, Otay, in Escondido, Fashion Valley, just below that half an inch mark, and close to a quarter of an inch in Encinitas. Here comes the storm. As it continues diving south, we're going to be looking at more showers becoming widespread overnight into tomorrow morning. So do expect the precipitation to intensify as we go into tonight. You can already see a little bit of green over the ocean, and eventually those areas of moisture developing are going to be traveling east. And it is actually a lot more unsettled in comparison to the last couple of hours. You can see here on the 15, there's one shower moving through right in the Hidden Meadows area, and we're going to see more of it as we go into tonight. So a little bit scattered tonight, becoming more widespread by morning. Coming up, I'll show you how much more is on the way and how long before we'll enjoy dry conditions and sunny skies.
Angelica, thank you. The storm has also forced local businesses to adapt, as you might imagine, as they continue outdoor operations. Our ABC 10 News reporter Cassie Carlisle joins us with the moves being made in the Gaslamp district.
Out here in the Gaslamp quarter, there's businesses like this one that have put up pop-up tents to cover their clientele, preparing for more winter weather.
Wednesday, flashing lights reminded drivers headed to Mount Laguna they'd need their chains. Along the side of Sunrise Highway, chunks of ice warned of the slick road ahead. Neighbors saw hail in Crest and Sabre Springs. And just about everywhere in between, from Jamul to Kearney Mesa, saw spotty showers.
Yeah, I actually stay downtown, so I heard it It started like 3 this morning. It was hitting my window hard.
Christina Lambert grew up in Chicago and moved to San Diego.
It's like the weather act bipolar like Chicago. So it's been kind of bipolar.
Chilly and rainy one minute and warm and sunny the next, drying the remaining puddles in the gas lamp before the next storm cell moves through. Her heart goes out to the businesses impacted by the weather on top of the pandemic.
I feel like it's terrible because since they moving outside, like everything's getting wet up, so they have to be considerate of the rain now. It's terrible. I feel bad for them.
Lambert's not excited for more rain heading our way, even though we're having a relatively dry winter.
We are a week away from St. Patrick's Day. Normally here in the Gaslamp Quarter, they have a pub crawl, but the owner of the field told me that this will be the second year that they won't be able to have that because of the pandemic. Yet another challenge that businesses down here are facing. Reporting in the Gaslamp Quarter, Cassie Carlisle, ABC 10 News.
And you can keep track of the weather in your own neighborhood by downloading our free mobile app. Just go to the App Store and search 10 News. Videos circulating online about a traffic stop that ended with an officer drawing his gun on a child with his hands up is gaining a lot of attention. Now, this is the image drawing concern online. It appears to show an officer pointing a gun at a child. This happened yesterday when police say that the driver was going about 70 miles an hour down Park Boulevard in San Diego. The driver eventually stopped at Park and Upas. Police released this body camera video to show what happened after the officers handcuffed the driver and asked his son to come out of the car.
Hey, bud, just put your hands up for us, all right? Take that gun off me, bro. Just come towards us, all right? Come over here. Take that gun off me?
Just come here, bud. Just come here.
Come over to us, all right? You're good, bud.
You're okay.
Well, an officer eventually asked the boy to sit on the ground. That officer then knelt down by him and asked him if he knew that his father was driving fast and would pull over when he was supposed to, why he wouldn't. He then told the boy they drew their guns because they didn't know what was going on and told the boy as well he was not in trouble. The entire video lasts more than 7 minutes, and we have put it all there for you on 10news.com. ABC 10 News has reached out to different community groups about their perspective. We'll have more on that tonight on ABC 10 News at 11.
This is what 7,000 pounds of illegal drugs looks like. Today, the crew of the Coast Guard cutter pulled into San Diego with 3.5 tons of captured cocaine. The drugs come from 10 different interdictions done by the Coast Guard and Navy over the last 2 months. They all happened off the coasts of Mexico, Central and South America. One of the participating ships was the San Diego-based LCS ship named Freedom. Lifeguards are still on the lookout for a possible body in the water off La Jolla. A couple reported seeing a man floating in the water this morning near Coast Boulevard. Lifeguards spent most of the day searching using boats, personal watercraft, and scuba divers. Police also used their helicopter to search from above, and so far they have found nothing.
It was the hardest thing. Having your child cry, say, "Mommy, help me."
That Oceanside mother is sharing her heartbreak after her 3-year-old son fell ill with a severe case of a rare COVID-19 complication. As our ABC 10 News reporter Michael Chin found out, the condition quickly became life-threatening.
Kawaii Bracey, her husband Devin, and 3-year-old son Kawaii all tested positive for COVID in early February. Brielle had the most severe symptoms. Kawaii appeared to be asymptomatic.
Obviously, we did watch him and monitor him closely, but he was just his normal self.
Then, a month later, last Wednesday,
just shaking, violently shaking. So he goes to walk and he's trembling, and then he fell.
At Rady Children's Hospital, Kawaii was diagnosed with pneumonia and MIS-C, which stands for multi-system inflammatory syndrome in children, an inflammatory reaction some 2 to 6 weeks after exposure to COVID.
It's hard dealing with watching your child struggle to survive.
Kawaii developed a fever, a rash all over his body, stomach pains. His heart wasn't pumping correctly. His oxygen levels dropped to dangerous levels.
It was the hardest thing. Having your child cry, say, "Mommy, help me."
Kawaii's treatment regimen included a blood transfusion, steroids, and anakinra, a drug used to treat arthritis. A week later, signs of hope. His heart issues have improved, though his oxygen levels are not all the way back. Brielle says she's hopeful Kawaii will be released in the next few weeks.
They're saying probably for the rest of his life, they're going to have to monitor his heart.
Brielle says she's sharing her story to increase awareness so parents can get help quickly.
I wouldn't wish this on anybody. No child should have to suffer this way.
Michael Chen, ABC 10 News.
Since April, Rady Children's Hospital reports nearly 60 cases of Miss C. The majority of those have just been in the last few months. A GoFundMe campaign has been set up to help with Kawaii's aftercare and other expenses. There is a link on our homepage.